Hey, Wonderhussy here. I'm at one of my all-time favorite places, the Sinkyone Wilderness, up on the lost coast of Northern California. Talk about Bigfoot country. This is the kind of place you would find him. It's a big, deep, dark, misty forest with no real roads or signs of civilization. And it's right on the beach. Maybe this is where Sasquatch goes for his summer vacation. Anyway, I've camped here a couple times before, and I made a video about it once. The gorgeous forest, the beach, the ginormous Roosevelt elk grazing peacefully in the meadow right by the camp area. But there's one thing I somehow forgot to explore on my previous trips here. Supposedly, there's this amazing Candelabra Forest where the trees, branches, I guess, grow out like the arms on a candelabra. You know, one of those fancy candlesticks with all the like 6 or 8 different arms coming off of it. Anyway, I'm camping here again, this time with my whole family. My mom, both my sisters, my brother, and his girlfriend. And we're all about to go for a walk and explore this magical sounding forest. But before we leave, there's one more order of business to attend to, because one simply doesn't go for a walk in a mystical candelabra forest in Sasquatch country without a mug of hot cocoa. I like to add a dash of cayenne pepper to mine for extra spice. And, because it's a special occasion, some Baileys. Well, actually Carolyn's, because it's cheaper. Okay, now I'm ready to go explore the Candelabra Forest. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the trailhead. I think it's this Peter Douglas Coastal Trail. I'm not sure who Peter Douglas was or why he has this awesome trail named after him, but I mean, look at this. Like I said, it's definitely Sasquatch country. Candelabras or no, bound to see something interesting out here. Okay, wow. Look, there's this little sign here that tells us exactly who Peter Douglas is or was. Visionary Peter Douglas. This trail honors Peter Douglas. Oh, passed away in 2012, unfortunately. He authored California's landmark coastal protection law, the California Coastal Act of 1976, champion of public access. Oh, okay, so he was basically kind of like a nature lover who did a lot to protect the California coast. I know a lot of people think that like there's too many regulations in California and like these forests and beaches are too tightly controlled. And I can kind of understand that sentiment, but to be honest, where we're camping here in this Sinkyone Wilderness, it's one of the last places in California that you can actually just roll out and camp, like basically right on the beach. And to be perfectly honest, people are kind of abusing the privilege. I mean, there are vault toilets here, or I guess outhouses here, but there's just human waste, poop, toilet paper, pee everywhere all over this camp area, and garbage, shotgun shells. Like, it's frankly disgusting, and it actually kind of makes me understand why California is so restrictive with all its regulations, because apparently if you trust people, they let you down. Anyways, end of rant. Let's go check out this trail. Look at this, dude. Feels like I'm in some kind of weird tropical arboretum. I think those might be the candelabra trees. I mean, look at how the trunks are growing out all funky. Whoa, this is so spooky. Wow, I definitely feel like I'm in something out of Lord of the Rings. This forest is like primeval. Like I said earlier, it's definitely the kind of place Bigfoot would be hanging out. Holy wow, this friggin' trail is amazing. It's a bunch of stairs made out of old railroad ties. So, you know, it's kind of steep uphill, but you pass through this friggin' amazing forest of these crazy trees. This is friggin' exceptional. Wow, I can't believe I didn't know this was here the last 2 times I hiked here. Oh, look, here's another sign. Let's see what this says. The power of partnership, protecting the forest with our partners. Shady Dell, Save the Redwoods League. Oh, it's some tree hugger stuff. You know, I said tree hugger like it's a bad thing. I love trees. I don't mind hugging a tree myself. I guess I am a big old hippie after all. Wow, this is so different from the hikes that I usually do. I'm usually hiking around in the desert, you know, or sometimes in the Sierra. But this is like a coastal redwood forest. Everything is totally different here. I mean, everything's moist. Look at all these ferns. You don't see that in the desert or even really in the Sierras. And you certainly don't see this awesome kind of moss-covered tree anywhere in the desert. Holy wow. I mean, everything here is just dank and dark and misty and gloomy. And this is the end of July. It's probably something like 115 degrees back home in Vegas. I sure am glad to be here today. Oh, look, here's another sign. The Enchanted Forest, connecting with the Candelabra Redwoods. Oh, wow, this is interesting. It says here that the reason these trees grow like candelabras, instead of growing in massive straight columns, the harsh coastal conditions here have caused these trees to sprout branches with multiple trunks. I mean, holy wow, I don't even think we were really in the Candelabra Forest before. I think this is where it starts, because look at that. That looks like a freaking candelabra. And I guess it's because there's so much blasting cold sea wind here. Somehow it causes these trees to grow more than one trunk. Oh, and then it says here that this particular grove of redwoods, which is known as the Enchanted Forest, contains many of these contorted trees, some of which are more than 500 years old. And the only reason they survived so long is they weren't harvested because their bent boughs could not be made into lumber. Wow, so their deformity was actually the thing that saved them. I feel like there's a lesson in there somewhere. Wow, Enchanted Forest is definitely the right name for this place. Oh, this is one of the coolest places I've ever been. And look, there's even a bench here. You can sit down and just kind of rest and contemplate these friggin' amazing trees. You know, I was just talking about this to my sister, the one who travels with me, last night actually, because she likes to go, you know, traveling with me as much as she can. We've been to a lot of the same places, but we agreed that this Sinkyone wilderness is like one of our, if not our number one favorite places of all. I mean, we both really like Saline Valley Hot Springs out in Death Valley, and that's basically the polar opposite environment of this. It's a really arid, dry desert. You know, it's kind of a tie for me between Saline Hot Springs and Tacoma, California, also in Death Valley, another hot spring. They're both these super arid, monochromatic, minimalist desert landscapes, and I friggin' love them. This is totally the opposite. It's dank and damp and lush and ferny, and everything just grows out of the ground. Totally the opposite of Tacoma and Saline, but just friggin' awesome in its own way. So I suppose if I had my druthers, I'd spend half my time up here, like the summer up here, and the winter down there. And I'd be pretty happy. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this in my other video that I made about sinkyone. I think I might have. My dad's ashes are actually scattered here. That's how I found out about this place. I wasn't like super close to my dad growing up. My parents divorced when I was 3. But I saw my dad on weekends here and there, and we stayed in touch. But unfortunately, he suffered lifelong depression, and he ended up committing suicide in 2011. And so my stepmom sprinkled his ashes here, or at least part of his ashes, because I guess this was a place he really liked. And like I said, that's how I found out about it. Before he died, he told me once that, him and my stepmom had gone camping at this really remote beach up in Northern California where there's no running water, no electricity. And this was way, I was a teenager. This was way before I ever went camping or anything like out in the boondocks. So I was like, whoa, camping someplace without running water? Yikes. Just sounded so weird to me. But years later, my sister and I decided to come check it out for ourselves, and we definitely saw the appeal. This place is friggin' awesome, and it seems like a really nice place to have your ashes scattered, frankly. So, you know, when I come up here, I almost feel like I'm visiting my dad. Hi, Dad. Whew. This trail is uphill. I'm kind of out of breath. So I thought I'd stop for a second because look at these freaking clovers. How big these are. To show you for scale, you're supposed to stay on the trail, so I gotta be real careful. But like, look at, compared to my hand, how big these freaking clover are. I mean, if you found a 4-leaf, one of these, you'd have good luck for the rest of your life. I guess that's part of the reason why I feel like this place is so Sasquatchy, because everything grows to extremes here, you know, giant clover, giant trees with multiple trunks. And you know, Sasquatch is said to be, I think, like 7 feet tall, so kind of stands to reason he would be in an environment like this that suited his scale. You know how like tourism in New Zealand picked up after they shot those Lord of the Rings movies there, because they have all these like creepy mystical type forests like this? Psh, hey, guess what? We have them here too. Isn't that amazing? Oh, that's another reason why I friggin' love this amazing country. And, you know, California. Say what you will about California. It has some of the most spectacular natural beauty. Whew. Okay, here's another sign that we're in a super dank, lush forest. It's one of the not so good signs, actually. Yeah! You know what that is? It's a friggin' banana slug. Hold on, let me get around and show you the front. They're so gross. Oh, it actually looks like he's eating. I think he's munching on that stalk of this vine thing that he's curled around. I guess they eat plants or whatever. I think they eat poop too, frankly. They're kind of gross. I mean, look at that thing. That's big. Here's my finger next to it so you can see. Ah, look at his little antlers though, or antenna, I guess, not antlers. Here he comes. Yikes. Oh no, there's another one. Back in the trees. Oh my god, they're everywhere. Yikers. This whole forest is infested with them. And here I am, sitting with my friggin' shirt on the ground. Better stand up. Blah. That is definitely one thing I do not miss, living in the desert. Oh god, there's another one too. There's like 3 right around me. Ugh. It's funny because I actually almost went to college at University of California, Santa Cruz, UC Santa Cruz. And their school mascot is the banana slug. That's not the reason I decided not to go, though. I actually just decided that it was too expensive, so I went to San Jose State instead. I just saw another banana slug. Wow, we're in a friggin' grove of them. Ugh. See, this one here has brown spots on it. I think that's why they call them banana slugs, because typically they have those brown spots. Ugh, so slimy and gross, dude. If you ever accidentally step on one, it's a feeling you'll never forget. But look what it's right by. I mean, this lush environment, you know, attracts the creepy and the awesome, because look at this friggin' moss-covered tree. This tree is entirely covered with moss. I mean, it's like friggin' Chewbacca. Look at that. Oh, wow. Holy cow, and then look at these little flowers. I don't even know what these are, but like little purple bell-shaped things. Oh my gosh, this looks like a place where friggin' fairies would live. Oh, wow. Actually, I'm only gonna be up here for one more day after this. I gotta leave on, today's Friday, I'm leaving on Sunday morning. And I'm headed back down south to the Sierra to go backpacking. So I'm gonna ease my transition back to the desert. From here, I'm going to the Sierra. And from the Sierra, I'm going to central Nevada, which is, you know, a little bit cooler and forested than southern Nevada. But then I'm going back to Vegas, and it is gonna be hot. Gosh, when I'm sitting there baking my brains out in the desert, I'm going to think very fondly of this beautiful, misty forest. I better be here now and enjoy it. You know what I mean? I gotta be present. I gotta stop thinking about backpacking next week. I gotta be in this forest right now. What do they call it? Mindfulness. And be mindful and enjoy. All my senses are engaged. It smells amazing and fresh. It feels amazing and fresh on my skin. It feels misty and cool. It smells kind of just like fresh green alive stuff. It's my ears, my sound. You can hear the ocean. Taste, well, to taste some of my cocoa, engage that sense. What's the other sense? Oh, touch. Oh, well, here's something perfect to touch. Look at this. Okay, this is kind of backlit, but if you can see what I'm looking at here, it's the stalk of this plant that's like real thick and fibrous and almost like feels like celery. Well, I learned a new word the other day and I think it might apply here. Forbs, F-O-R-B-S. No, not the magazine. F-O-R-B-S. It's a kind, like it's like grasses. There's grasses and then there's forbs. Forbs are similar to grasses, but they have a thicker, more like celery type stalk. I think that might just be a forb. But anyways, it was good to satisfy my sense of touch. So we got taste, touch, sight, smell, and sound. What a great hike. Okay, I'm almost caught up to my family, so I think I'm going to wrap this video up. I just wanted to share with you this freaking amazing, well, my sister calls this the sea forest because it's a forest right on the sea. And well, it's a pretty good way to describe it. Sea forest, enchanted forest, my favorite forest. Ugh, call it what you want to call it. It's friggin' awesome.